You wake up with your heart already racing. Before your feet touch the floor, you're thinking about the 17 unanswered messages. The presentation you haven't started, the argument you can't forget, your chest feels tight, your jaw is clenched. You haven't even opened your eyes and you're already defeated. This is the modern condition. Constant noise. Perpetual threat. A war with no battlefield and no end. Now contrast this with the samurai of feudal Japan. Men who lived one sword stroke away from death. Men who faced actual carnage, political betrayal, and the extinction of their entire bloodline. Yet the historical records describe them as possessing fudoshin, an immovable mind, unshakable, calm in the face of annihilation. They had no therapy apps, no breathing exercises from the internet, no weekend retreats. So how did warriors facing real death cultivate deeper peace than you have on a Tuesday morning checking email? In the next few minutes, you'll discover the ancient discipline they used. A single, unbreakable framework that transforms stress from a master into a servant. Listen carefully. Most men will close this video before they reach the truth. Let's be honest about what's actually happening to you. You've tried everything. You've downloaded the meditation apps. You've read the books about mindset. You've told yourself to just relax 1,000 times. And yet the moment something goes wrong, a critical email, an unexpected bill, a sharp word from someone you respect, you collapse inward. The stress floods back instantly. You feel that dread in your gut, that low-level panic that never quite leaves. You scroll through your phone at night because sleep feels impossible. Your mind is a battlefield of worst-case scenarios, regrets from 3 years ago, and vague fears you can't even name. Here's the brutal truth. Modern stress isn't about having too much to do. It's about having no center, no foundation. You've built your entire life on sand, and every new pressure just shifts the ground beneath you. The modern solutions promise quick fixes. 5-minute hacks. Productivity systems. Motivational videos that pump you up for 6 hours before you crash again. But they all fail for the same reason. They treat the symptom, not the rot. They tell you to manage stress, to cope with it, to build resilience against it. But the samurai understood something your generation has forgotten. You don't manage chaos, you become unmoved by it. This is where the path narrows. Most men stop here because what comes next requires you to admit something uncomfortable. Your stress isn't caused by your circumstances. It's caused by your mind's relationship to those circumstances. A samurai facing execution could maintain perfect composure. You lose yours over a delayed train. The difference isn't the severity of the threat. The difference is the internal discipline. The principle is called fudoshin, literally translated, immovable mind, not immovable as in rigid or inflexible. Immovable as in unshakable at the core. Like a mountain that lets storms pass over it without being moved from its foundation. Let me show you what this looked like in practice. In 1582, the warlord Oda Nobunaga was betrayed by one of his own generals, Akechi Mitsuhide. Trapped in Honnoji Temple, surrounded by thousands of enemy soldiers, Nobunaga knew death was certain. His men expected him to panic, to rage, to beg for escape routes. Instead, historical accounts describe him calmly composing a death poem, setting the temple ablaze himself, and performing seppuku with complete serenity. He orchestrated his own death with the same precision he'd used to orchestrate his victories. His final words, according to the chronicles: "The human heart is like the cherry blossom, brief in bloom, inevitable in falling. Let it fall with dignity. Understand what happened here. This wasn't denial. This wasn't suppressing fear." Nobunaga had cultivated something far more powerful, a mind that could observe terror without being consumed by it. Fudoshin is the cultivation of an internal axis that doesn't move regardless of external chaos. The samurai trained this not through positive thinking, but through deliberate exposure to discomfort and the systematic elimination of attachment to outcomes. Here's the philosophy in its simplest form. You suffer not because of what happens to you, but because you demand reality be different than it is. The immovable mind accepts what is, acts with precision within it, and remains undisturbed by what cannot be controlled. Your modern stress exists because you're constantly fighting reality. The traffic shouldn't be this bad. That person shouldn't have said that. This situation shouldn't be happening. Every shouldn't is a crack in your foundation. The warrior's code was different. Reality is. Now, act. Listen carefully. What I'm about to give you is the exact protocol to build fudoshin in your modern life. This isn't theory. This is a system. The first step is the morning anchor at 5 a.m. to 5:20 a.m. You begin every day with 20 minutes of absolute stillness. Not meditation in the modern sense. No apps, no guidance. You sit in silence, back straight, eyes open or closed, focused on nothing but your breath. No goal, no trying to feel peaceful. Just observation. This is your daily training in separating yourself from your thoughts. You learn that you are not the voice in your head. You are the awareness behind it. The second step is the immovable vow. Before you touch your phone, before you engage with the world, you make one vow aloud. I will not be moved by what I cannot control. You say it out loud. You let it settle into your body. This becomes your operating system for the day. The third step is the discomfort protocol. Once per day, you deliberately choose discomfort. Cold shower for 2 minutes. Skipping a meal. Sitting with boredom instead of reaching for your phone. The specific discomfort doesn't matter. What matters is this: you are training your nervous system to remain calm when conditions aren't pleasant. The samurai stood in frozen rivers. You can handle cold water for 120 seconds. This is where most men stop. They want the philosophy without the discipline. The warrior understood that an untested mind is a fragile mind. The fourth step is the reality acceptance practice. When stress appears, and it will, you practice immediate acceptance, not passive resignation. Active acceptance. You say internally, this is happening. This is real. Now I act. You don't argue with reality. You don't spiral into why this shouldn't be happening. You observe the situation as a warrior observes terrain, dispassionately, tactically. The fifth step is the evening audit at 9 p.m. 10 minutes before sleep, you sit with a single question. Where was I moved today? You identify the moments you lost your center. You don't judge yourself. You simply note them like a general reviewing battlefield losses. Then you visualize how fudoshin would have responded. You're building new neural pathways. The sixth step is the shadow exercise, a weekly solitude. Once per week, you take 2 hours of complete solitude, no music, no podcasts, no books. Just you in silence. You walk alone or sit alone. This practice terrifies modern men because they've never learned to be with themselves. The warrior knew, if you cannot be alone with your mind, you don't control your mind controls you. The seventh step is the non-negotiable boundary. You establish one unbreakable rule: no complaining, not to others, not to yourself. When you complain, you're declaring yourself a victim of circumstances. The immovable mind doesn't complain. It assesses and acts. For 30 days, every time you catch yourself complaining, you stop mid-sentence. Replace it with, this is the situation. This is my response. This is the system, not complicated. But most men will never do it because it requires you to stand alone in your discipline while everyone around you drowns in reactivity. When you live by this code, everything changes. Fear doesn't disappear, but it stops controlling you. You feel it, acknowledge it, and act anyway. Chaos doesn't vanish, but it stops destabilizing you. You move through disorder like water around stone. Clarity arrives not as a feeling, but as a permanent state. You see situations as they are, not as your anxiety imagines them. Respect is earned not through what you say, but through the unshakable quality of your presence. People feel it. They sense that you cannot be moved by the same forces that move everyone else. This is not a destination. It's a daily practice, a path that has no end. The samurai Yamamoto Shunetomo wrote in the Hagakure, "There is something to be learned from a rainstorm. When meeting with a sudden shower, you try not to get wet and run quickly along the road. But doing such things as passing under the eaves of houses, you still get wet. When you are resolved from the beginning, you will not be perplexed, though you still get the same soaking. You will still face the storm, but you will no longer run from it. If you're ready to walk the path of the warrior, hit like subscribe, and turn on notifications. I release a new rule from the ancients every other day. The next one might be the code that changes everything. Until then, remain unmoved.